So before we get back to our featured poets, we'll have time for the open mic. If you'd like to read, please volunteer in the chat. You can also use the raise hand function if you prefer to do that. And I will start making my little list here while I see the names pop up. Okay. All right. All right. Let's start with Margot, John, Anne, and then I'll add folks to that. Do we have Margot ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I have a curse word that appears twice. It is the opposite of heaven, just as a warning. I am in hell. My idle brain, feasting on Netflix and Amazon, signals Satan to set up his wicked workshop in verbal centers of my cerebrum. I was dull to devil's cruel tools, clouding details in language lobes. What is the name of that movie? You know, the one with the blonde actress who was in that TV show about a single mom who meets a cool neighbor and they almost fall in love. See that guy over there by the weights? What is his name? He worked in Beto's campaign. No, not the one for president, the one for the Senate. The seat occupied by the guy who looks like the vampire grandpa in the Munsters. Or was it the Addams Family? Oh, yes. I am in linguistic Hades with this laughing, larcenous Lucifer who snatches the words I want and switches them with silly substitutes. In my misty mind, the drag queen Silky Nutmeg Ganache is Silky Cinnamon Ganache. See how he plays with the upstairs wiring. Hear his cackle when friends laugh at my goofy gaffes. Is my lexicon forever marred? Could hard work repair it and banish Beelzebub from my dreams, and banish Beelzebub from my brain? Let me think. What the hell? Where's the remote? Thank you.
Thank you. That's got to be my favorite content warning in quite a long time. And good poem. All right, let's have John Simons, followed by Anne, Deborah, and John Gorman.
Hi, everybody. It's John Simons. This is a kind of a solemn, sobering poem. We were in New York City for the holidays of 2001, and it was very obvious that what had happened 3 months earlier was still weighing very heavily on the people who lived there. This is called Making It Go Away. New York City, December 2001. More pain than many want to think about. More than we can feel and still continue. More truth than most of us can stand to watch. More dread amid the dust and blowing paper. More death than most cities could bury. The tired eyes of grief seem everywhere, going through the motions of enjoyment. A diet of finely ground zero leaves a dinner crowd on empty. Lines of resolution stiffen the face of the city, connecting its separate lives through friends and neighbor folk with stories of the lost, the missing, those with choices too desperate to guide, too far from help to help. People of high risk, their stakes burning, fatal risk at the center of managed risk, left in the ashes of our disbelief, living beyond our means to escape the towering targets, debt and death in the plazas of survival. Flaming people leap the plunge of horror, free fall over meltdown in a no choice end. Money movers and firefighters spinning Galileo on the weight of falling bodies, adding impact to the New York Minute. Put the non-believers to the stake, holding terror captive in an X-ray cage. Too frail to talk about for fear, we'll see how vulnerable we've all become. Can the heart support the grief? The names, the faces going up in sorrow. Impossible to hope that any will be found tomorrow. T-shirts with messages and pictures of the missing hang along the iron fences of an old stone church near the barricades, the law enforcement guards, the empty view of a sunny December, quiet crowds now standing there, 3 days to Christmas, holiday time in a city numb with recognition, where fear continues with its questions lasting from the grinding in the ruins. Far from the sorting grounds, the mind takes a fresh kill detour each day to bridge the details the salvage leaves us. Something akin to fear that reaches for hope. Feelings colder than sorrow, more certain than despair, grow within us from the dust of ashes. We find ourselves looking at each city skyline photo, travel poster, twilight backdrop, to log the horizon as current, to update what is missing from the city of yesterday, where life exceeded human scale, death has left survivors buried in its wake. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that remembrance. Anne, are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, loud and
Okay.
clear.
All right. So I like to write parodies to songs, and this is one concerning the COVID experience and vaccination. And then this is to the song "The Long Black Veil" that Johnny Cash sang. He does a good version of this. It's called Vaccination Woes. Just 1 week ago, I sealed my fate. I thought that I would not vaccinate. There were many like me, and they all agreed that this virus was not the threat that you see. And the chorus, it stalks our streets with a deadly force, puts bodies in graves with no remorse. This virus knows, this virus sees, this virus fooled me. The doc asked me, why did I wait so long? If I had took the shot, then I would still be strong. No words could I speak, I will lose my life. I listened to rumors full of hate and strife. And then the chorus, and then the last stanza. Now my time has come and my life will soon end with hundreds of lies, but no comfort they lend. This choice that I made was a big mistake. I'll join the others as my body does break.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's hear from Deborah, then Dr. John Gorman, and then Doletta.
When I was a kid, my father would sometimes play our home movies backwards, and we always got a kick out of that, which is what gave me the idea for this poem after seeing so many images of the planes going into the buildings. It's called Rewind. The walls of the two towers pick up their plaster and dust draws upwards into blue. Those who jumped don't, but blow softly up through open windows to sit at their desks intact. 200 firemen moonwalk back to their trucks, hang hoses up like warriors' swords as the running pedestrians stop, spin on their heels and stroll back through park and plaza shops. The melted church rights its ribs, pulls the roof back on like a hat, while fallen spires resurrect from blueprints. Both aircraft tanks siphon back flames of gas. Glass mosaic uncoils from debris, folds into steel archways. 2 planes resumed their flight to Los Angeles and Los Angeles. As white exhaust feathers through morning, early and clear, 3,000 busy people loved by others, still right here. Gorgeous, that Indian summer sky.
Thank you. I remember that sky. All right, John, then Daletta, and the chat's open if anyone else would like to volunteer.
Okay, I thought that I would get on the ground early with a Halloween poem. It's called An Abundance of Pumpkins. An abundance of pumpkins, all of them orange, webbed with white, here and there touches of green, sprung from nature yet too wonderful not to be miracles, like elephants, first love, giraffes, sheet lightning, friendship, the Grand Canyon when, say, you're an Indian or a Spaniard out for a walk and suddenly there's the Grand Canyon. Pumpkins, so big, so many of them, heaps, and somewhere the perfect one, hollow, yet soon hollower still. Transformed, and what's left you can eat 2 ways. Riches, ridiculous riches, Aladdin, God, Uncle Scrooge, and when you're out after one with your father, there's also cider, Indian corn, warty, inedible squashes, the whole setup brilliant as grace right at the year's ending. How boring to think it's all from Satan. How perfect to dress up and move among 1,000 lighted pumpkins, getting handfuls of candy for free. How unaccountably wonderful everything suddenly is, and sometimes a truck pulls up right where you're there at the roadside stand or the garden center and dumps a whole load of them. Hollow bongo thunder, the thuddish plunk of somebody else's music, somebody closer than you thought people got to the way everything felt when it tumbled out of nothingness. This has been a good night. You've been able to compare it to things you haven't seen yet, things you haven't felt. You might risk a smile in public. If your father has a free hand on the way to the car with your pumpkin, you might take your father's hand.
Thank you. All right, Daletta, you ready? Oh, there you are. Can we have sound?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. Wishing on the world. I'm wishing on the world. Shout it out loud. I'm gay and I'm proud. Like Martin Luther King, I do have a dream that all the homophobics in this world will find their humanity in their hearts instead of hate. United, corresponding, communication, networking as friends and family. Not stressed about the anti-gay, prejudiced people stalking and staring as if they were the paparazzi. Or a scientist examining specimen. Why? All because we love differently. Please understand that we want to feel free like wind chimes blowing in the wind, playing our distinct melody. Gay people are diverse, resembling the world's finest art masterpieces in all colors, just as exquisite as the exhibits at the Louvre Museum. But discrimination still exists. It leans on me, it leans on we, the LGBTQ community heavyweight, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The LGBTQ stands strong like the Eiffel Tower. Homosexuals help build this world. Since the beginning of time, there were gay people, and there will always be gays until the end of time.